Hello everybody, this is J.A. McDonald, and here we are in a weird setting that you guys might not be used to seeing. We are in the kitchen making breakfast. Then I just figured I'd make breakfast for you guys. I'm going to make eggs Benedict, which is poached egg on English muffin with hollandaise sauce. There's the recipe for the hollandaise sauce I'm going to be using, and a few other ingredients. Now, that hollandaise sauce calls for 3 eggs, but I'm only going to use 2 eggs in it because that hollandaise sauce makes up a little bit more than I would like. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get out 3 different pans. Now, you want a small-ish pan and the bottom part of a double boiler and the top part of a double boiler. Excuse me while I put this back up on the counter. There we are. We just happen to have pans that nest nicely. So in the top part of the double boiler, fill it, a ways with water. And put that on your big burner to start heating up. And of course, don't forget to put the lid on to increase heating speed. And one of the things you're going to do is you need your egg poacher, unless you want to poach eggs the hard way, which personally I don't. And I think that goes in right now. But then your egg poaching cups go in later. Next thing you're going to want to do is fill this pan, the large pan, the bottom of the double boiler, a ways with water, not too far. Put that on one of your other burners and start it heating. You're going to want to get both of these up to just barely boiling. So in this final pan, you're going to take a butter, and because I'm making a 1/3 batch of hollandaise sauce, oh great. Because I'm making a 1/3 batch of hollandaise sauce, it takes just over half a stick of butter instead of 1 1/4 sticks of butter. So, a little bit over. I'm going to go right about here is a little over halfway. So let's just kind of slice the butter. And you're going to put that in the last pan. And go ahead and put that on your final burner and turn it on to, medium or so. You want a relatively slow melt on this butter, and you don't want to get it boiling or bubbling or whatever they call it for butter. What is smoking over here? Just the burner. Alright, then cut this up a little bit so it is smaller and in nice little chunks that melt faster. Next step is you're going to want to get your English muffin ready-ish. So you don't want to start your English muffin toasting until you're actually ready for it, or it'll cool off. But get out whatever plate you want to put this absolutely delicious thing on. Slice your English muffin in half. Like that right there. Break off some of the crumbs and put the edges in the toaster, ready for toasting, but not toasting yet. And you want to get all the crumbs off, otherwise they will fall down inside your toaster and it will start smoking, kind of like that pot is. Right, so the next step is this guy up to temperature. This guy is now up to temperature. So turn him down to medium. Have both of your egg cups ready. I'm doing 2 eggs, by the way. Get your eggs out of your fridge. Couple nice farm fresh eggs here. Put the eggs back in the fridge. You'll be needing them again later though, so don't let them get too far away. And crack one egg into each cup. There we are. And there we go. Inspect these eggs, make sure they look fine. And then take them and put each one in your egg poacher. Now that I look at that, that might not have enough water in it. I don't know. But we'll let those go for... I'm going to add some more water. There we are. That should be enough water now. I don't know how to poach eggs the best, but I think they have to be relatively floating in water. I'll turn that temperature back up a little. And you go over to your microwave and you set a timer for 4.5 minutes. At this point, your back pan should be bubbling away. Go ahead and actually turn that completely off and check on your butter again. Make sure it's doing okay. Right. Now, while your eggs are cooking and your back pan is warm, get out a few things from the fridge. You are going to want 2 slices of whatever your favorite kind of cheese is. In my case, it is Swiss cheese. And you're going to want some sort of meat. It's really up to you, but I really like this deli fresh smoked turkey breast for this. But you can put on bacon or ham slices or anything really. It doesn't particularly matter. Now you can actually start toasting your English muffins. So go ahead and put them in the toaster. Your butter's starting to boil. Slosh that around a little and turn the burner down to warm just to keep it from congealing again. Now, while you're waiting for everything here, get out a small bowl, very small bowl. Here we are, small bowl. And you are going to want to skim the butter solids off the top of the butter with a spoon. So see how there's those white floaties in there? You're going to want to skim those off. So just come in here and gently take a spoon, monitoring your eggs over here to keep them from boiling too much. Go ahead and take a spoon and just kind of try to get as many butter solids as you can out. This isn't the most important step in the world, but it is a relatively important thing to do. It just helps with the consistency of the sauce later. There we are. So I've gotten those out. You can return it to your burner now. When you make the rest of your hollandaise sauce, remember to not add the butter solids from the bottom to the hollandaise sauce either. Right, so half a stick doesn't feel like enough. Your English muffins are now up. So take those out of the toaster carefully, put them on your plate, add some mayonnaise, Where's that knife? There it is. You don't want to get your knife all, or your mayo all buttery. So just take a little bit of mayo, not too much mayo. Spread it on there. And just a little bit of mayo, not too much mayo. That's not enough mayo. More mayo required. There we go. Whoops. And just spread it on that one. There. You can go ahead and put the mayo away now. You won't need it after this. Now, set the knife there. Take a slice of cheese and put it on each English muffin, half, and that would be the timer on our poached eggs. I'm going to let them go a few more minutes. It's a judgment call, really. You want them to be, cooked, but not overcooked. And I can still see some transparent stuff here, so I don't think they're quite cooked yet. I'm actually going to put the lid on, but not for very long. All right then. So now that you have your cheese on your English muffin, you can go ahead and put on your meat. But it's important you put the cheese on first so it gets time to start melting. Because who doesn't like melted cheese? There you have it. You can put the meat and cheese back in the fridge. And I think I should probably check those poached eggs again. Ah, yes, they're getting there. One of them's a bit more sunny side up now. Little consequence of covering it with the lid. And where the steam vent was, now that I think of it. Didn't think of that before. So go ahead and put all of your ingredients you're done with back in your refrigerator. And I'm going to put this lid on the other way for a moment, just to vent steam this way across the other egg yolk, just to get it kind of consistently cooked. And we're going to start on the next part. Oh wait, we can't quite do that yet. I forgot, we need this pan for the next step. So we can't do this step until we've done that step. Now you're going to want, while you're waiting for those poached eggs, which are probably done, come to think of it, grab out 2 more eggs. Now, this time, I'm not using farm fresh, deluxe, for the very important reason that I want it to be, I want to make sure they're clean. You don't want contaminated eggs for this part, at least. So now, just take out your egg poaching cups with a fork and dump the egg out. Apparently I don't know how to remove these from their cups, so I'm just going to turn this burner off and put the lid back on because I want to cook that one's egg yolk just a little bit longer. And I'm going to grab my trusty knife over here, rinse the mayo off of it. Oh, I bet I was supposed to butter these cups beforehand. Then, you're supposed to gently cut your egg away from the edge of the cup. And I poached that egg terribly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was supposed to grease the cups beforehand, and I forgot that step. So I'm just going to put those in the sink for later cleaning. It doesn't matter too much how nice your poached eggs look. This will turn out roughly the same. Anyway, you slice it. So now, before you even take out that other poached egg from its container, take out the egg poacher, take the water in this pot, and pour it into this pot, and then rinse this pot here out in the sink a little, get it nice and cooled down for the next step. And move this pot to the front burner, turn it on medium. And you can go ahead and put this pan back here, and now this should be ready to be extracted from the egg dish. Hopefully. And there you have it. 2 horribly poached eggs. I'm not the greatest at poaching eggs, but that's okay. This is actually my first time poaching the eggs myself. The next part is the part I'm good at. We're now going to start on the hollandaise sauce. To do that, take your eggs, and you're going to want to separate the yolk from the whites. So crack your egg and just kind of tilt the whites into the bowl. Careful not to let the yolk slip out. And then completely hold the yolk in one egg shell and pour it over into the other over your bowl. And that'll get out all of the egg white. Then go ahead and put it in that pan. Now do the same for the other egg. Whoops, I kind of destroyed part of that egg shell. And also the egg yolk. Let's try to recover that. So if you want to use these for a meringue or something similar later, you can't have any egg fats in there. So do your best to separate out the yellow part of the yolk from the whites, but it doesn't matter if you get some white in the other pan over there. I don't think those egg yolks are going to be good for a meringue, or sorry, those egg whites. All right. This is the hardest part. So hard that I'm going to readjust the camera to right there. Hang on. I have to balance this camera arm or it will rotate on its own. There we go. So, take just a splash of water. Recipe calls for a tablespoon, that might be a little much. And a whisk. And go ahead and whisk this up really well. And I mean really well. Now before you start this next step, which is the hardest, you're going to want to have a clear view of a clock. Because this takes 3 to 5 minutes to do, and you really need to pay attention for it. So, put it on the boiler and immediately start whisking. You're going to want to keep one hand on the pot and one hand on the whisk. If you feel this start to get a little warm too fast, move it off of the double boiler. Now the trick here is you have to keep it moving or it will start to scramble. But you want to get it cooked so it has to heat up. But you can't overcook it or it will scramble right into your whisk. So you have to be very careful and keep an eye on that clock. You can turn your back burner off now if you want to take your hand off of stirring, which you don't. See, like right there, I got it, let it get a little too hot because I took my hand off. So I'm going to take it off the heat for a little while and just kind of stir it out of heat for a bit. think that's probably long enough. Back on the heat it goes. You don't really want bubbles in this stuff. So you just keep stirring. We're at about 2 minutes in or so. If it's feeling gritty, that's a warning sign. Actually, I think we're a little less than 2 minutes right now. But this stuff will gradually get thicker and thicker. And about 4 minutes in or so, depending on the day and everything, very dependent, it'll all of a sudden feel right. And you'll know it feels right the second time you make it. Because the first time you make it, you will miss that point. And it will go from feeling right to being overcooked. And it will all cluster into your spatula here. We're at just over 2 minutes, I think. Hopefully I remember to put a timer on the screen. Yes. I think I probably put in too much water, which is what's causing the bubbles or something. But as you can see, the bubbles are starting to disappear and being incorporated into the volume of the egg. We should be about 3 minutes right now or so, I think. Oh, I could use that timer. Oh, okay, we're definitely 3 minutes in, or 4, 3 to 4. Oh, and I got a little bit thick. You see those curdles starting to form there? You don't want those. So keep this thing moving. Move it off the heat a little to kind of keep going. And then back on for the final little bit here. Oop, was that the moment? No, that wasn't quite the moment. Come on, moment. I really need you now. There it was. So that was the moment. At this point, you want to kind of slowly let off stirring a little, but not a lot. And you're going to come over here to a cool spot and grab your pan of butter solids. Sorry, of butter in the other hand. Oh, great. It accumulated more top gunk. I don't have time to remove it. And you're just going to drip it in. There we are. Ever so gently, drip, drip, drippy. And as you get more of it in there, you can start increasing the rate at which you pour it. That was a little too fast. You want to get it all mixed in and the same consistency before you add more. If you don't do that, the egg will separate from the butter and you'll just get a mess. Go ahead and turn your burner off and move your pan of hot water away. And at this point, your hollandaise sauce is a hollandaise sauce, and it is rather stable now. You don't really have to worry about it going crazy and doing anything weird. There we are. So now you're going to add salt and pepper to taste. And the most important thing, lemon juice. Lemon juice. Here it is. Now the lemon juice is a little bit sensitive. So you're going to want to start by putting some in the cap here. And add about a capful. Wash off your hand because you don't want your hand to be contaminated with lemon juice for the next part. And stir this up really good until your lemon is in solution. There we go, let's try that. And then just put your finger in it, a little bit on the end, and lick your finger off. Tiny bit more lemon juice. At this point, you add lemon juice by drops. more salt. It's really hard to say exactly how much to add. Even the recipe gives about a teaspoon and a half range. But you will know it. Whoa, that was way too much. This isn't going to turn out well. Yep, just a tiny bit too much lemon sauce that time. But you'll know you have the right amount of lemon sauce because lemon juice, because your hollandaise sauce will taste very creamy and very eggy and very good, but not at all lemony. This one here tastes ever so slightly like lemon. So now what you're going to want to do is separate out these two and just drizzle some hollandaise sauce over the top there and over that egg there, and just kind of drizzle it all out. And there you have it. You can use a spatula to scrape out the last little bit of hollandaise sauce and put it on there if you want. But you already have more than enough hollandaise sauce. So rinse your pan out right now, or it'll be difficult to cook later. And if you made up extra hollandaise sauce, it supposedly only keeps for half an hour. So I'm sorry for you. But there you have an absolutely delicious Eggs Benedict. I'm going to go try it. And there we have it. I have my plate here with my Eggs Benedict on it and a nice glass of Organ chai tea latte mix. That is delicious. And let's try our very first bite of this. So that is really good. But now that the hollandaise sauce is in position, and combined with the slightly sour nature of English toast, what is this stuff called? English muffin. It's slightly sour, and I think the cheese is ever so slightly sour too. But you can definitely notice that the hollandaise sauce is now too sour. So I did mess up on that, but I think this poached egg turned out delicious, even though all of that. So thank you all for watching. Remember to like and subscribe to We Crazy Few, and of course all of our individual channels as well if you like. And I am going to enjoy my breakfast and leave you to enjoy yours.
And they were like, well, why don't you just get Eggs Benedict? And he said, I don't like holiday sauce. And he said, did you just say holiday sauce? Yeah, why? Because it's hollandaise, you moron? Dottie, you're incorrigible. Now read the minutes back to us, you Randy Minx. And she said, it's hollandaise, you moron. Et tu, Dottie. How do you know Shakespeare? You don't know hollandaise. That's a paradox. Alaska Ale, Alabama Ale. We did use that one before.